Hey, my name is Phil from funnelscene.com, and in this video I want to share with you the 4 best Zapier alternatives for GoHighlevel, and in fact it could be for any other platform out there as well. I'm currently just moving a lot of my business into GoHighlevel, which is why I'm focusing on that. Now, before we do get started, if you want to use any of the platforms mentioned, I've also left some links in the description. If you use those, you'll be helping support the channel as well. So the first reason people are looking for a Zapier alternative most likely is going to be because of cost. Zapier is very expensive, so what we're going to be doing today is comparing the different platforms, the different pricing. We're also going to be going into the platforms to share the different experiences because they're extremely different. And then finally, I'll show you how to integrate them with GoHighlevel as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first Zapier alternative we're going to be looking at on the list is one called Make. Now, Make used to be also called Integromat a little while ago. I believe around 2021, they changed it to Make. And I have to admit, this is probably one of my favorite integration platforms. Now, the reason it is one of my favorite is the visual workflow editor, right? You can visually see how your integration is going, and this is perfect if you're adding in a lot of different steps because you can easily digest exactly what your workflow is doing. So if you're just having a simple one-to-one integration, it doesn't necessarily matter if it was a visual workflow builder or not. However, once you start having, 5 steps, 10 steps, 15 steps, which I see a lot of people doing, Make is going to be your best friend because you can visualize what's getting triggered by what automation, by what action. So this is a very cool platform, and the cool thing about it too is they have got an extremely generous free plan where for $0 a month, you don't even have to add your credit card. You can have 1,000 operations per month. And what an operation basically means is every time there is an action taken, for example, if there was a webhook received and then you updated all of the information on a Google Sheet, that counts as an operation. And then if you went and created, say, a folder in Google Drive, that's another operation. And then you sent another webhook or whatever it might be to another platform, that's also counted. So however many steps you have inside of your workflow will depend how many operations you have per one run. So that's something to think about. All of these platforms have slightly different terminology, slightly different naming and strategy for it. So we'll go through all of those in a second. So let's look at the second Zapier alternative on the list, and then we can start comparing them once they're all out. And this one's going to be one called Pabbly Connect. Now, Pabbly has a load of different products inside of its umbrella, which is Pabbly. Pabbly Connect is their integrations platform, and I have to admit, I'm quite impressed with it. So if you come down here, it doesn't have the visual workflow like Make, but it is actually quite easy to use, and we'll go through all of that soon. Let's just quickly look at the different pricing inside of Pabbly. So I've actually got this open here. So they've got 4 different plans, and they've also got a lifetime deal, which I'll talk about in a second. But on the free plan, you can get what they call 100 tasks every month, and you don't have to pay a single thing. Now, the interesting thing about their tasks versus the operations inside of Make, if we just scroll up a little bit inside of their page, as you can see here, they have Pabbly Connect, webhook plus a filter plus a Google Sheet is called one task. Whereas if you look at Zapier, they count it as 2. And interestingly on Make, they count it as 3 as it's 3 steps. So instead of creating and basing your pricing off each action that's actually taken, if you've got a long string of automations, you'll only be charged 1 for the entire length of it. So it's pretty cool, and it's actually very generous as well, because if you had 100 people go through the same task on Pabbly versus 100 people on Make, depending on the length of it, it could be much cheaper with Pabbly versus Make. So this is the wild card when it comes to pricing. Pabbly have got a very good plan. In fact, I've used all of these platforms I'm going through today. I've reviewed them on a separate channel. But I do like Pabbly because their pricing plan is actually very good as well. And I'll show you how the entire thing, the user experience, goes in just a second. But what we're going to do now is introduce our third Zapier alternative on the list. And this one is called Integrately. And Integrately is actually quite a new contender in the integration world. In fact, they had their big launch just a couple of years ago in 2021, and it's quite hilarious. If you scroll down to the bottom of their page, this is actually the review I shot for it on my review channel. It's pretty funny to actually just notice that there. But the good thing about this platform is it's very easy to use. They have what they call one-click integrations, which is pre-built integrations that you can quickly use inside of your platform. But the downfall, I guess, of this so far is if we go to their pricing structure and just go on the monthly plan, which is what we're comparing them all to, you can see they only offer 100 tasks. And to give you an idea of what a task is inside of Integrately, what the trigger is in the platform, right? So it could be a webhook, it could be, someone fills out a lead form, things like that. They don't actually count that as a task, but every action after that is counted as a task. So if you had, say, a 5-step automation, they don't count the first one, so it counts as 4 tasks. So this is on the much lower end of the allowances for a free plan. So that's quite interesting how they've done it considering they're so new. However, that is the pricing structure, and I'll show you how the user experience is in just a second. But what we're going to do now is introduce the final and fourth Zapier alternative, which is also a new platform called Albato. Now, Albato is once again a new company that's just started. They've done a big launch, in fact, on AppSumo just in this past year, and they're getting quite a bit of traction. Now, the issue with a brand new platform like Integrately and Albato is it might take a bit of time to have all the necessary actions or integrations that you'd be looking for, but they have all the main ones there ready to go. Now, interestingly, when you come to the pricing plan inside of Albato as well, it isn't that cheap either. So you can get started once again for free, but once again, their transaction total is only 100, and each transaction or task or whatever you want to call it is a single action, right? So if you receive a webhook, that's one task, and then every task after that is also counted as a task. So these are very low. You can only do 2-step automations inside of the free plan. So there's a lot of things to think about when looking at it. So what I'm going to do now is show you just a quick sheet that I've created with all of the different pricing structures inside of it. Okay, so it's not the most attractive chart or anything like that. However, it does show you the point that I'm trying to make. If you're on the free plan with Zapier, you can have 100 tasks. If you're in Make, you can have 1,000 operations, which is basically 100 tasks. On Pabbly Connect, you can have 200 tasks. However, a task is an entire workflow, so that's actually significantly more than 200. In Integrately, you can have 100 tasks. Once again, they don't count the trigger as a task. Very confusing, I know. And then finally, Albato is 100 transactions. So the two winners out of that is clearly Make and Pabbly Connect. You're going to get the most value from these two platforms. And then if you need to upgrade, this is what you can expect to pay on the lowest tier. For Zapier, you can pay basically $30 for 750 tasks. For Make, you pay $10.59 for 10,000 operations. So that's a huge amount. For Pabbly Connect, $19 for 12,000 tasks. Once again, a task is an entire workflow. So that's ridiculously beneficial and ridiculously good. If you had one workflow, basically you could have 12,000 people go through it. It's very, very impressive. Integrately, $29 for 2,000 tasks, and then Albato is $15 for 1,000 transactions. So all of these options are significantly better than Zapier. However, if it was me personally, I would either choose Make or Pabbly Connect. Pabbly Connect is probably the better value. Make is probably that little bit easier to use with the visual builder. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and go through one by one and show you the user experience of each platform. So let's start with Make, and Make is probably my favorite in terms of the design, the user experience, and everything like that. It's just beautiful, and it's so easy to navigate and consume data from. Now, I spent a lot of time in the last 24 hours actually turning my Android spare phone into an SMS gateway with Make, so I'm happy to create that training for that as well if you want to hear it, but this is very cool. So let me show you how it works. So we have inside here what we call scenarios. You can also trigger it at the top right. And a scenario is basically going to be your workflow. So once this loads, you can see we have first of all a trigger, and then we have all of these different integrations that you can actually start with. So for this example, I'm going to go to the search bar at the bottom and just type in webhook. And I guess what I'm going to do just for a test to show you how it works is fill out a lead form in, say, WordPress, and then send it to GoHighlevel so you can understand how it works. So we're going to go to webhooks at the top, click on custom webhook, right? and it's going to say choose a webhook. I'm going to add a brand new one. So what I'm going to do is just call this the YouTube, okay, example, just so I know which one it is, and click on save. Now this is going to go ahead and start listening for some data to be sent to that webhook. So I'm going to go ahead, copy address to clipboard. I'm going to come to this page I created, which has just got these simple forms so I can have them easy to get to, so I can show you this tutorial. And I'll just paste in the webhook there, click on update, and then I'll quickly action this webhook, right? So I'll click on preview, right? And I'll quickly fill out this form, like so, and then I'll go ahead and send the webhook. And now inside of Integromat, inside of Make, that now is, you can see it has been successfully determined. So now we can go to the next step. So to add in more steps once you've got your trigger, simply come to the right, click on add another module, and you can see I've already used it here, high level lead connector. And then what we can do is, for this example, I'm just going to choose create a contact, okay? Some other types of triggers that you could have actually added things like update contacts, opportunities, tasks, right? You can do everything with the webhook feature. It's pretty cool. But for this example, I'll go ahead and create a new connection so I can show you how it works. And all you need to do is name your connection. So I'm just going to call this the YouTube high level, okay? And that's just asking for an API key. So to find your API key, it's really simple. I'm just using this demo account for this example. So come into the client account, go to business profile inside of settings, and then click on copy for the API key, and then come back to Make, paste it in, and click save. Right, and then once that has been added, then you can start mapping all of the fields from what you've got. So inside of the webhook, we have been sent a first name. So in first name, you want to choose first name. Last name, of course, is last name. Email is email, right? There is no phone number, so you can just leave that for this integration. We do have company name though, so I'll add that there. And then we've also got this section here for tags. Now, I highly recommend every time you send information into GoHighlevel, you tag where they actually came from. So this could be, say, just a YouTube test. So click on map and then type in here YouTube test, right? And then every time that someone comes through this webhook, they're going to be tagged with this. And if you haven't got a tag created, it will make one for you. Okay, so that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead, click on OK. Go ahead and click on save. Right, scenario's been saved, so let's go ahead and turn it on. So that should be good to go. Let's go to our test page one more time. Let's put in here Phil Wilson hello +12@funnelscene.com, and then we'll put in here funnel scene, click send webhook, right? And then let's go back to the scenario. Hopefully this is all being completed. In fact, let's just go straight into contacts inside of this brand. I'm going to click on reload. Okay, and if all has gone well, we should have a brand new contact. And boom, here it is. You can see the contact has been added. There's this time, it's stamped, and you can see we have got our tag, which has been added. So everything has run extremely smoothly, not a single hiccup. So let's go and do that all again, this time inside of Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to go to create new workflow. Inside of here, I'm going to call this once again the YouTube test. Click on create. Okay. And then it's going to say, choose your app. We're going to choose webhook, right? And then it's going to give us a webhook URL. Click on copy, right? I'll come back to this and paste it in. And I'll just pause this. You've seen me do it once. Okay, so I'll also change it up a bit so we can have separate contacts. So here we are, Bill Wilson, Funnel Scenic. Let's go ahead, send that webhook. And then we'll see it get response almost instantly inside of Pabbly. So all we got to do now is go ahead. Here's all the different fields we have. It's pretty actually nice that we get to see all of the fields as soon as they arrive. Unlike in Make, it doesn't show that. So that's pretty good to see. So next is the application or the action. What are we going to do now? So I'm going to go ahead and type in here high level, see if it comes up. They also call it lead connector in most places too. So there's lead connector V2. So now it's asking for an action event. So what we're going to do is go down and choose create or update a contact. Okay. And then we're going to go connect. Now inside of that, it's asking us if we want to add a new connection or select existing. So I'm just going to call this once again the YouTube test, and I'm going to click connect with lead connector V2. It's going to bring up this little pop-up, and it's using actually the high-level marketplace to integrate, which is really nice to see. So I'm going to go down to Gymnation, which is the one that we are using. Okay, add that in. It's been accepted. So this is actually good. You don't need to go get the API. It's already done for you. So we've got here first name. Once again, go to the webhook, choose first name. Super easy to do. So first name Bill, last name, and we're going to choose Wilson. And then we're going to come down to email. Right, and let's go to email. And I do like it how they've also got here full name. If I only had a form that said full name on Make, you can't actually split it out as easy as you can just by choosing the different options here. So there's a little bonus for using Pabbly. And if we scroll down, it's right to the very bottom. We should have inside here, sorry, it's not right down, it's moved. Down here we have tags. So I'm just going to call this once again. I'll actually call this the YouTube tester so we can have a bit of variation. Okay. And if you want to have multiple tags, just follow the instructions they have there. So no spaces, just tag after tag. And if you're just doing one, leave it without a tag, something I learned as well. So let's go ahead and click save and send test request. Right. And we'll just wait a few seconds. So boom, that has all been done. So you can see all the information's been added inside of here. So let's go save, right? And this should actually be good to go. So let's go ahead and test it out. I'll pause this one more time. All right, and I just forgot to actually put in the company. So I quickly just added in company. But let's test it out, send webhook, right? And let's go to the platform. Let's go ahead and click reload. And hopefully instantly would be great, this would appear. Right, so that has been done. I don't believe I clicked save once I added in the company, but that's fine. Inside of our contacts, we have it. You can see the company's not there, but it should be there now. The new tag's been added as well. So both of these platforms have been integrated using the webhook feature. So both of them very good, both work extremely well. To be honest, I probably think the Pabbly Connect is probably a little bit easier when mapping the fields, but Make, once again, is a lot prettier. So it depends on which version you want. So now let's go to Integrately and let's integrate this platform. So in Integrately, I'm click New Automation. I'm going to choose Webhook. Now, funnily enough, the whole thing was they don't charge for triggers, but webhooks are a chargeable trigger. Whatever, it's fine. We'll just do it. And then, so the first app is going to be a webhook. The second app, so you've got to complete the automation, not just build it as you go, is going to be, let's see if it's high level. Yeah, GoHighlevel. So it's not even lead connector. Oh, it is also lead connector. Interesting. So lead connector. So let's just say inside of here, when an operation is performed in the webhook, which is what we want, then create a contact in lead connector. Okay, so let's click on go. Now it's creating the automation, it says, which is pretty interesting. And now we get to connect the counts. So it does it slightly different, but it all gets there in the end. So this is the webhook you want to use. I'm going to copy that, go back to this page, come inside here, content webhooks, just paste this in for the example. Okay, update. Right, and now let's go ahead and refresh this. And let's just make sure there's nothing else. I have set this URL. Okay, so how it works, right? Done, check if received. Okay, so testing. So let's just say my name is Jill Wilson, hello +14@funnelscene.com, and mine could be Funnel Fever. Okay, send webhook. Let's go to Integrately, and let's just see if it's been received. So it looks like something's happened. We've got here, need to check a specific part, operation performed. Most cases you don't need to do anything. Let's see test record. Jill Wilson, Funnel Scene, company Funnel Fever. Perfect. So let's click on continue. Now connect lead connector securely. So once again, we need the API. So I'll quickly go settings, right? And then I'll just copy this API. Where are we here? Right, copy, paste like so, continue. And here is the final product. Now, it did take about 20 seconds to get to the screen. I thought I'd just cut that all out for you. But what we have here is the webhook info. It's gone ahead and actually pre-mapped it. So we've got email, first name, last name, and company name. And I did try to add a tag down here. For some reason, it didn't actually work. But regardless, let's go ahead and test and turn it on. And if all goes well, which it will, I'm going to go ahead and click on refresh. You can see I've actually already done it. I was trying to figure out that tag thing. For some reason, I couldn't figure it out. However, I'm sure it's a simple fix. But there is integrately, the contact comes through. Actually, there it is. There's the tag. So that worked as well. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. Once again, you just got to type in the tag down the bottom and make sure it is switched on. So let's go to the fourth and final Zapier alternative, which is Albato. Now, something to think about with Albato, once again, this platform has just launched. I, in fact, have purchased, when they did have lifetime deal, the max plan. So I'm invested in it. However, at the moment, it's probably my least favorite. I believe over time it will get better. They are bringing out a visual builder and everything in the coming months. But let me show you how it works. So go ahead, click on new. And inside here, you can rename it. So I'm just going to call this the YouTube test. Okay. You can also create groups or folders, things like that, which is pretty cool. But the first step is to choose a trigger. So we're going to choose webhook. Okay. So down here's webhook. Choose an event, incoming webhook, and choose a connection. Now you do have to actually create your connections first. So I'll go and create a brand new one to show you how it works. I'm just going to call this the YouTube test 2 because I've already got one. Click on continue. Okay, it's going to come up with a few bits of info. So I'll click got it. Right, click add trigger. Okay, and then it's going to say here is your link. So I'll come back one more time and add it in. Okay, so that is pre-populated. I'll go and click wait for webhook and it's going to be listening. So I'll click send webhook, come back, and then you can see it will trigger in just a second and we should be good to go. There it is. So you can see here are all of the different fields that are inside of it. So we'll go ahead, click on close, right? And now it's time to connect our next app. So what we want to do is look up lead connector, see if it's there. So it must be GoHighlevel. There it is, GoHighlevel beta version. So they should probably change that to lead connector for people with clients. The good thing about this too is, once again, young company, they're open to all suggestions. I've actually connected with the founder a lot. He's a good guy, or one of the team, and they've done so many different things inside of it. But what we want to do is come down and you want to create a contact, not a user. You want to create a contact, okay? And it's going to ask you for a connection. I've already got one here, but let's make a new one. So I'm just going to call this the YouTube test. Once again, API key. Now you do need your agency API key, which I feel is another step, and you need the location API key. So what I'm going to have to do is pause the video and fill these two out because the agency key is a little bit personal. Right, so to get the agency key, just go into your agency dashboard, settings, click on API keys, and they've got both of these right there. So click on continue, okay? And in a few seconds, we'll have our account connected. The good thing about this is once you connect it once, it's always connected as well. So create a contact, you've got your account there, and we're gonna go click add an action, all right? Because we wanna do something. So email, click on webhook, and you can come down and choose email. Right, phone, if you have phone there, we don't. So first name, webhook, and scroll down to first name. Last name, once again, we'll scroll down to last name. Full name, if you want to add it, you don't have to, but you can add two of them together. So first name and then last name, right? So you can put them in there, a little space if you want. Scroll down, we have company name, so webhook, scroll down to company. And then we've got tags. Once again, they've got the format down there. So this one is tag space tag. Real interesting. So I'm just going to come inside here and start typing YouTube testing test, just so it's different. Okay. Click on save. And then hopefully this is all good to go. Okay. So I'll click on start. Right. I can actually go ahead and click on test. Right, and I just made sure I had that open. So let's go and click test. Oh, it's only for API triggers, that's fine. I'll go ahead and fill this out again. So my name was Pill Wilson, hello +14 at funnelscene.com, and this can be funnels are us. Okay, go ahead, send webhook, and then let's go ahead and check the results. I'm gonna go ahead and click reload. And I've just realized I used the same email address as another one, so it's probably going to update it, which is a bit of a pest, but that's okay. Okay, so you can see it's updated that one there. and it's got the tag. So everything worked perfectly. I accidentally put in the wrong email, but just to show you everything has worked. So once again, that is the 4 best Zapier alternatives that we've gone through. These are the best I've tested out anyway. I know there are lots of either open source ones or complicated ones as well. These are probably the easiest ones to use. I've shown you how to set them all up with GoHighlevel, which a lot of people don't teach. So that's it, guys. If we quickly go back to the pricing plans once again, there's Zapier. It's expensive, but it's the most known. It's the OG when it comes to integration. Make is the best if you want to create a visual workflow. It's also one of the cheapest. Both Make and Pabbly are the cheapest right now. Pabbly is probably the best value for your money. You'll get more operations, more tasks out of it. Integrately's okay. They are still up and coming. And then we've finally got Albato, which is kind of the most expensive right now. And it is very up and coming as well, but their main pitch is they actually go a lot more technical than these other ones do. I'm not going to go into that information because it's pretty technical. I can link to that review if you want to see it. But just for the average user, I'd choose probably Make or Pabbly. I already use Pabbly and Make, so hopefully this has informed you a little bit which one you want to use. So once again, that is my favorite 4 best Zapier alternatives. If you got some value from this video, please smash the thumbs up button. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe. If there is an Zapier alternative I haven't added inside of this video, let me know down in the description so I can go ahead and check it out, potentially create another video about it. But that's it, guys. Ton of free resources in the description. Go and check it out. But that's it from me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.